thank you so much to the speakers. We picked a few topics just to give you a sense of how we approach thinking about the web, thinking about conversions, thinking about growth, thinking about strategy and community as well. So we just wanted to give you just a little flavour of some of the perspectives and thought processes behind it. We have a couple of people with roaming mics. Does anyone like to ask anyone a question?
I talk to customers all the time about the likes of Twitter and social media, and the biggest hurdle that I come up against is the negative feedback from people, like the haters. You said during your presentation there, you sit in the fence, and I know you can't really do that because people will see the negative comments. I'm
talking about trolls, though,
oh, yeah.
which would be different to customer negative comments.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, customer negative comments. I'm a big lover of Twitter now because as I do with everything, leave everything to the last minute, and I got all my passports for my family except for my youngest daughter. And I don't know if you've ever tried ringing the passport office, but forget about it. They don't answer the phone because they're too busy.
Yeah.
I got onto Twitter.
Yeah.
And within 15 minutes, it went from stage 2 to stage 6 on the website. It was brilliant the way they engaged with it. Mm-hmm. But I find with some customers, they're hesitant in using it because they're afraid that whether it be a competitor or an actual client or customer, with the negative feedback, and I'd like your sort of maybe opinion on how to deal with that.
What I was talking about earlier was trolls, which is different because they don't have a photograph, they don't have a website or anything. They're just people that just sit there and just annoy people. But for a genuine customer complaint, what you need to do is, first of all, you engage straight away. As soon as you can, you engage, because sometimes people just want to be acknowledged. So let's say, the Wi-Fi's not working on the train. I'm on my way up to Dublin. I need to work on the train. I don't know who said that complaint before, but I just give it as an example. And the Wi-Fi wasn't working, and then the company got back and said, oh, actually, just direct message us exactly what carriage you're in, and we can. So they took it offline. They didn't want me giving out about Wi-Fi. They didn't want me giving out about that. They wanted to take it offline. So you take it offline to direct message, then you follow it up. So you say, look, can we have your details? We get customer service to give you a call straight away. Bam. Customer service, you make sure that it's followed up. You go back to the person on Twitter and say, look, did you get that sorted? Yeah, thanks very much. Next thing, they're tweeting positive things about you.
And I would say it doesn't matter whether you're on Twitter or not if the negative comments are happening anyway. Not being there won't stop them from complaining. So you're better off to be there so that you can deal with it.
Actually, a very good thing to do for people who aren't on Twitter yet is go and search for your company, see if it's been spoken about already on Twitter. Because you don't want people talking about you on Twitter and you're not there to respond to it. So, look, these kind of things happen only when you got like 5,000 followers plus. So don't, I didn't start getting trolls till I started doing great stuff. So don't worry about it. It's not. But the negative comments, when it's a genuine customer, engage, take it offline, follow it up. They could turn into your biggest ally.
Any other questions? There's one, sorry, in the corner there.
Hi, I just wanted to ask your views on managing your Twitter account. When you first set it up and you send out your first tweet and nothing happens, and you send out your second tweet and you might get a reply, that's all fine. But if you suddenly find that either you're in a much larger business or whatever it is that you're tweeting about suddenly explodes, all of a sudden managing your Twitter account, which is effectively your public face, it becomes really crucial that you manage it properly. And the standard Twitter web interface for a large volume tweet account isn't really suitable. It's not manageable on a corporate basis. So I know that we in Nissan have got a tool that channels everything back in, automates notifications to various people based on who's out and who's in. But the bottom line is it guarantees that it gets to somebody and that somebody responds. And more importantly, if 3 months later somebody tweets at you, it says, hang on, we've heard from this person before. And I just thought if you might want to say a few words on that kind of larger scale, managing your Twitter account.
Well, there is a new, actually one of our sponsors of our women's event is Risk Eye, if you want to look them up, and they do that, what you just said there. What are you using at the moment? Or? Okay. So it'd be kind of similar. What they do is they monitor complaints. I think Busser and people like that use it, and it kind of goes back to the right person, like you're saying. I think they are crucial for big companies. But what are they missing? They're missing interaction and the engagement, I feel, still. They're not actually going back. Like, when was the last time your company went back to a customer who bought a car maybe last year and asked them how they're getting on, or asked them, just look at their tweets and see, you might see it was their daughter's birthday today. Just jump in and say, oh, wishing Mary a happy birthday from Nissan, and a little picture of a birthday cake. That's going to make their day, and they're going to go, actually, Jace, I am due to get a new car, actually. Maybe I'll pop back again. It's all about the customer, how you make them feel. And it could be just something as simple as asking how they are. And that's what's missing from the bigger. You can automate as much as you want, but if you're not there to engage with a human being, because every Twitter avatar, there's a human behind it, except for the trolls, you know, but you know, just be aware that it's how you make your customer feel. Imagine if you had their date of birth and they were on Twitter and they'd engaged with you before, and then you went back, oh, just quick one, we want to wish Mary and Taryn your happy birthday. You know, like, it's going to make her day. They'd be like, oh, Nissan just tweeted me, that is so cool, you know. I'll just give you an example. Tree Mobile, don't work for them either yet. They did a tweet once. I was trying to get Justin Bieber tickets for my daughter. She loves Justin Bieber, and I was on the site, and I don't know if any of you have teenagers, but when there's a teenager in your ear saying, get the ticket, it's like really stressful. And I was like, oh, so I tweeted Tree, and I was like, look, I can't get on the website, you know, can you help me? And then I went, oh, it's the wrong date. So I actually tweeted, and I went, look, I'm really sorry, actually, I was on the site the wrong day. It's not till tomorrow, they're on sale. And they tweeted back and they said, is it too late for me to say sorry? Which is Justin Bieber's song. So when they did that, I was like, oh my God, that is so cool. So I retweeted it. I tell people about it, like in things like this, and I say, that was such, and the girl's name was Rachel. She came to the social media summit. I met her, and I even mentioned it at the social media summit because I just thought that was brilliant response. She said it funny. It showed Tree Mobile were with it. They knew the latest Justin Bieber song. You know, it's something simple, but it made my day, made me take notice, you know, so just to be aware. Big companies can be cool too on Twitter, like, you know.
And question in the corner there.
What seems to be the most effective for B2B as well as for direct customer marketing?
Well, it might depend on your customer, but LinkedIn is obviously the kind of classic B2B network, and it's going through some changes at the minute. But you know, a lot of your customers are going to be there. They're already set up, so there is a fantastic opportunity, and it links into things like SlideShare, blog posting, and so on. So that's a fantastic one. But then I'd use that in concert with Twitter. So every time I post in one, I notify the other and try and cross-pollinate between the multiple channels. Or if not Twitter, then perhaps Facebook or whatever is appropriate. But I treat them as a system. No one on its own is probably going to solve all of your communication needs. You want to try and cross-pollinate between your site, LinkedIn, Twitter, or whatever as much as possible, because increasingly you can control these through one or two interfaces. It doesn't have to be 10 accounts. You can organize it so that you're treated as one job, and you're just promoting that activity through the different channels.
And do you know, you don't have to be on everything either, okay? You don't. Find where your customers are. Find out where they're hanging out. That's why I gave the demographic earlier, because that is, if your target demographic age 35 to 55 or over 55, that's Twitter. Snapchat, 16 to, well, actually it's growing higher and higher now, because even I'm on Snapchat. When I take a selfie, my daughter's like, did you seriously take a selfie, Mom? You know, like, so just be aware, just keep up with find out where your customers are. That's all you need to do first. When you find them, stick to that platform.
Business customers engage more with LinkedIn, so you deal with more B2B customers through a LinkedIn platform. Twitter, as you say, is a direct engagement platform for customer care, for inquiries. Facebook, I think, is the one you get the most visibility on, but it can be the one you have the most problems with too. You know, it's the most, well, I suppose, haters gonna hate, you know, but it's the one you tend to pick up the most negative comments on. But I think that customers in general will engage better with you on Twitter, and B2B customers will engage better with you on LinkedIn.